So let's go ahead and react to Stephen Nduku's video called "I Investigated If Kenya is Truly the Tech Capital of Africa." It looks like we're about to have a Kenya-filled video or a Kenyan-filled reaction video today. So let's go ahead and watch.
Kenya is considered a leading tech hub in Africa with an increased internet connectivity and significant tech startups all around the country. And with advancement in AI, things are about to get even more interesting. In my quest to find answers as to why Kenya's tech scene is promising, I boarded a flight to the giant of Eastern Africa, Kenya.
Quick question for you. Do you believe Kenya is the tech hub of Africa?
Not today.
Hello, sir. Can you excuse me for a second? I have a quick question for you. Sorry, no, thank you. Quick question for you. Can you answer?
I know me.
Yo, the Kenyan people are not going to speak to me. But guys, today we are in Kenya, and I do have two questions. Is Kenya the tech hub of Africa? Is Kenya really the Silicon Valley of Africa? And how is AI helping solve the everyday needs of a local African person living here in Africa? We're going to find out.
And later on in this episode, I'll meet with the president of Google Europe, Middle East and Africa here in Nairobi
Whoa.
to gain more insight about Google's commitment to empower tech using AI and real-life inventions powered by artificial intelligence here in Nairobi, Kenya.
Hello, sir. I do have a quick question for you. Do you feel Kenya is the tech hub of Africa, the Silicon Valley of Africa?
Yes.
Do you know what AI is?
AI.
Yes.
Artificial intelligence.
Yes.
Yes.
Have you heard about AI? Do you know what AI is?
No, I don't know.
But do you use Google search?
Yeah, I use.
Do you know that you are indirectly using AI without knowing that you're using AI? Have you used anything that involved AI before in your daily work?
Yes, I do use. I've got several AIs. For example, there is a ChatGPT. There is an AI for you. You can see my work. I'm a photographer.
Yes.
There are some AIs that will be photography work.
Yes.
So I do use AI. Thank you.
Hello, sir. I have a quick question for you.
I think I've been in your YouTube.
Okay.
Steven or someone?
Yeah, my name is Steven, but I do have a
Damn,
quick question
let's
for
go.
you.
Okay.
Do you feel Kenya is the tech hub of Africa?
I think it's moving in the right direction in terms of technology.
I have another question for you. Have you heard about AI?
AI, yeah, it's true.
Have you used AI in your everyday life before?
Yeah. I use it.
And what was it?
I use it in my studies and I use it in doing some tasks.
To experience firsthand how AI is used for cleaner air, I visited AirQ here in Nairobi.
We're at somewhere at AQ. These guys are doing something very phenomenal. Tell me, what is this thing you're holding in your hand?
So before I tell you about this, I want to ask you,
Yes.
what is the quality of air you're breathing in right now?
Sadly, I don't know.
And that's why we invented this, this device to be able to tell you the quality of air that you breathe in.
Interesting. So how does it work? How does it get this data?
So this device, it's a portable, air core monitor. It can be installed on static locations.
Okay.
You can install it in your home,
Yeah.
on a street, or a motorbike.
What?
It takes air samples every second. I'm here breathing. It's also taking the air samples as if it's breathing in.
Yo.
When this device gets the air in, it tries to understand what is the quality of this air. It tries to drive the concentration of the pollution in the air.
So it's just rating how nice and clean the air is.
Precisely.
Okay,
Precisely.
interesting.
The main goal for us is that everyone should know the quality of air they breathe in for every breath
Yeah.
they take.
I
Damn.
understand this data can be uploaded to the cloud or somewhere where everybody can access it. So
Precisely.
everybody necessarily do not need to have this device.
You don't need to have this device.
All you just need to have is the application.
Just get the Airco mobile app.
Yes.
And then you can actually, if you're in Nairobi, there's already good coverage in Nairobi.
And this data, I can use it to see, oh, it's a sunny day to go to the beach. Or I have respiratory issue, I'm not going to go outside today. Or possibly there's traffic pollution happening somewhere. Let's stay away from that area.
Exactly.
Let me ask you a question. How did you come up with this idea?
So we always hear some, very short-term reports saying African cities are most polluted. But when you ask the data, it's not there.
Nobody has the data.
So we wanted to fill that data gap. And that's when we started building the technology.
Bro.
What was your first sample city? Where did you start this?
The first sample city was Kampala, Uganda. Now we've been able to scale to other African cities. 15
Yeah.
of them.
So what is the
Whoa.
future of this? Like, where do you see yourself in like 10 years with this thing?
So for every African city, first of all, we should be able to tell the state of air quality each citizen is breathing in.
That seems like a very expensive thing to do. How was Google able to empower your company?
We are Google AI Impact Challenge grantee.
Oh, okay.
That gave us some resources in terms of funding to expand, but also some of our data infrastructure runs on Google Cloud.
How many sensors would you have in a city like Nairobi then?
That's a good question, and actually that's also a very good application of AI. So one of the things we did is built what we call a placement model.
Yeah.
So given a radius of the city and a number of parameters like road density, population, green spaces, the model suggests the optimal number of sensors. But you might not be able to install all the sensors at the same time. So using that model, then you can start to install incrementally a few of that.
Google is trying to empower tech startups, and his company is just one of those. And it's
Right.
a technology that I'm very excited about.
Right,
So that
right,
I can
right.
live long.
Yeah,
I can
please.
make money and
you can
live
breathe clean.
Yeah, I can
and live longer.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right.
Let's pause for a second. Like, this is Africa, guys. This is Africa. Kenya is coming up. We just watched a video from Wodamaya about electric motorcycles being a thing in Kenya and being cheaper over time to have than an internal combustion motorcycle. And now we're transitioning over to an entirely different YouTube creator, also focused on Kenya and its advances in technology. And they're being supported by Google. What's going on here? Why is this not in the media? Why are we not watching news at nighttime or during the day about the advances that countries in Africa are making? We're only getting it from YouTubers like Stephen Nduku, Wodamaya, and Tayo Aina. Why is this the only source that we see over here in the Western world? While they're making huge advancements in Africa, we're not even hearing anything about that in our Western media. We're hearing about the latest gossip with politics and celebrities, all that garbage news that is piped in through the mainstream media. We need to be like watching for this stuff. This is the important news that should be reported here.
Right, thank you.
To find more answers about how Google is empowering tech in Africa, I visited Google's office here in Kenya to meet with Matt Britton.
He's the president of Google, Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Is this your first time in Kenya?
No, I've been several times for work and also for pleasure. It's a beautiful country.
So how is Kenya treating you so far?
Had the chance to get out and meet people doing real stuff. I live in London and I'm responsible for Africa for Google as well as the Middle East. So it's a big, big patch.
Yeah.
And every time I visit and see what's happening in Africa, it just reminds me of why we should be so passionate about putting technology into the hands of people in young countries who are so entrepreneurial.
Which African country has the potential to become the Silicon Valley of Africa?
Man, you're asking me to choose my favorite child. I don't think that's a fair question. I think I should be asking who are going to be the next generation tech leaders.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to come out of Africa, so maybe it's you.
I witnessed him announce Google's new commitment to make the internet.
Wait, hold on.
So maybe it's you.
Let's peep that motorcycle that just went by. Was that a Rome bike? And the electric bike we just watched? Because it was orange, right? No, that's not it. Okay.
Witnessed him announce Google's new commitment to make the internet accessible to more Africans.
Part of our mission at Google is to build technology that works for everyone. And we're going to see the majority of people in sub-Saharan Africa coming online will become a majority game over the next few years. Also going to be something that fuels prosperity. We think that 30 billion could be added to African GDP through our product contribution alone. Big projections as to how much AI can add to economy here as well.
How can AI help solve Africa's basic challenge? And we're talking about unemployment, we're talking about insecurity, we're talking about climate change, and also what Google is doing to help, solve this problem that we have here in Africa.
First thing is, like, what is AI and why is it an exciting thing? So it's a new level of capability of technology that's about bringing kind of greater intelligence to things we want to do. It's good at spotting patterns, it's good at making predictions, it's good at learning. It's so helpful in languages, and I'll come on to what we're doing with languages, but it's also helpful in things like really understanding complicated scientific stuff. So you're right to say, AI can help with prosperity, energy, health, climate change, security, an array of things. Let's bring that to life. What are we doing in Africa about that? There's two things that excite me about Africa right now. We're in a moment where it's very clear that AI can accelerate Africa and Africans. Because one, we're getting to the point where the majority of people on the continent will be connected. So that's taken time, right? It's behind many other countries. And it's thanks to Android, which is our free open operating system, which means that devices are more affordable, the telcos and a whole bunch of infrastructure investment we've made and others have made. So once you get connected, you've got all the world's information, but also increasingly you'll have intelligent tools at your service. So that's the second part of why I'm excited about Africa. Is this is in takeoff mode now. And while we've been here, we've been visiting some people who are using AI for good. So we've looked at a project on air quality, where we're using AI to understand and make predictions about pollution levels. We looked at a project about maternal health, which can save actually many, many women's lives by giving them better information when they need it and helping them with ultrasound screening. There's just two examples.
While in this meeting, I was told of a health tech using AI ultrasound to improve maternity. And of course, I wanted to check it out.
All right, so we're actually here. It's called Jacaranda. And what they're doing here is they are using AI
Wearing a jacket in Kenya is crazy,
to
by the
improve
way.
maternal health among women. So let's go.
7,500 Kenyan women die every year during childbirth.
Wow.
That's something like over 20 per day. That's almost 1 per hour. So some really sobering stats about the problem. But also a really promising, hopeful statistic is that 90% of those deaths are considered preventable. So that tells us that there is a solution, that this problem is solvable. And that's really what we've been focused in working with Jacaranda on, is trying to solve this problem.
They built a platform called Prompt, which is a two-way SMS exchange between AI and a pregnant lady.
So via Prompts, we started sending out SMS surveys that capture the mom's clinical history, any experiences she's had in the past that might be relevant to the current pregnancy. In addition, we've also been developing a model that looks at the conversational history that a mom has with us on Prompts and links that to
Whoa! Wait a minute. Y'all see that? That. So AI is kind of solving like a real world problem. This is blowing my mind right now.
model that looks at the conversational history that a mom has with us on Prompts and links that to her potential for additional care need.
The platform improves care-seeking behavior by sending mothers tested SMS messages tracked with their stage of pregnancy, alongside an AI-enabled health desk service that would sort out patients with an urgent care and respond to the mother's question via text or voice in their local language.
So all of these things are designed to then create this profile of a user and then be able to give her better proactive content.
So we know that early ultrasound screening is a safe and effective method to help plan for pregnancy care and also identify issues early on. Approximately 2/3 of pregnant women in rural Kenya currently do not have access to ultrasound. So we are in the very early stages, together with our friends from Google, to develop a model that can interpret two things from an ultrasound scan. One, the age of the fetus, and two, the position of the baby in the womb. The nurse will have access to an ultrasound probe and a smartphone. The probe will be linked to the smartphone via an app. The nurse will require some training on performing very simple standardized sweeps. On the background, the AI model will be able to interpret the two things mentioned. So that is the age of the fetus and the position of the baby.
Meaning when a client comes to the ANC room, I'll be able to do the scan for the patient. When you do these sweeps, you're shown the pictures of the baby inside the mother's womb, where the baby is facing, and also how far the mother is. With this, you can show the mother. They will be pretty happy to know that their baby are doing well inside. This helps us to determine mode of delivery for this mother and also determine complications that this mother might have and also to minimizing the risk of delivery.
So what the future would look like is on the phone, after the nurse has been able to do the sweeps that Christine has talked about, they will be able to get their interpretation on the phone, something that would look like this.
But Jacaranda Health is using AI in different ways with our partnership. We've given them a Google.org grant of $1.4 million and some expertise from our fellows, which are experts at Google who come and work with the partner. And that is looking at maternal death in childbirth and how can we use technology to improve those outcomes. So what we're doing in Africa is, like, this week we've announced 15 new languages so that people can
actually very
speak to Google.
Yeah.
Those are built with AI, and we've also announced some more investment in skills in AI and cybersecurity to help Africans be part of building the future together.
So how can the African people start preparing themselves for this new wave of technology, and what infrastructure is Google putting in place to make sure the ease of adaptability is a little bit more even?
Yeah, we're doing a few things. We've been investing about $1 billion in connecting Africa with cable, Equiano, which is bringing Africa and Europe closer together so you get faster access to technology, and also through sub-Saharan Africa to South Africa, and then from South Africa to Australia. So getting connected, there's some infrastructure investment, but then we're really investing in partnerships and skills. So the skills training, we've already trained 14 million people across the continent in digital skills, and this 5.8 million grant is going to help train many, many more. We do it always in partnership, and I'm always amazed at how entrepreneurial people here are.
One of the many features you mentioned was the language one, and that got me like very, very excited.
So today we're announcing the launch of voice search, and of course voice on the Gboard and voice input and translate for 13 more African languages, which brings our total to 25 out of 94 languages.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy.
For me, really proud of that. It means that you're able to now interact on the web, be able to now interact naturally in the language that comes naturally to you. But more importantly, to be able to do it in more languages means that more of our Africans will be able to be online.
It's quite interesting. I'm here sitting having conversation about AI, So what do you think is the future? The next, 20, 30 years?
Look, it's very hard to make long-term sort of precise projections, but I think you can see some big trends. So the first trend I think we talked about already is that everyone's going to be connected, particularly for people who've never had that chance. You get information, education, market ability, and a whole array of better tools to live your day. Secondly, everyone I think will have access to really smart sort of personal assistants. So you think about today the kind of thing that only the richest of rich people would have, like an amazing executive assistant scheduling their life, organizing their travel, a concierge to help people with their home, somebody who's a brilliant personal doctor. Imagine that, but affordable and available to everyone through AI. I think that's genuinely a possibility. And then thirdly, I think the world we live in, AI has the potential, if we get it right, to give us low-cost, sustainable energy. We might crack the problem of nuclear fusion. Has the potential to give us incredible new treatments for diseases, and to understand and solve kind of the scientific problems ahead of us with material science, like batteries that work better. So I think the world around us could really change for the better if we harness AI for good. What we have to do right now is be curious about it and start playing with it.
What you've seen in this video doesn't cover all that Google is doing in Africa and the world with AI. I even heard of Flood Hub, which can give advanced notice to people that they will be flooded.
Things like Flood Hub, which is helping to give up to 7 days earlier warning using AI technology and weather data as well, topography data. So these kind of tools are increasingly being developed and led from here, or collaborated on from here, with our teams, with local partners, and with great skills from people across the continent.
You can check the data for your city. Just visit the website. The red colors state a potential flood alert, while the green means no flood threat. And to end my trip here in Kenya, of course, I did a game drive at the Nairobi National Park.
This is the world's closest park to a city, just 7 kilometers. I don't know if you can, somewhere you can't really see, but while you're doing your game drive, you can see the city, and it's actually an airport. But what is more interesting is it is home to 4 out of the 5 big 5. It's only the elephants that you're not going to find right here. I want to ask you guys here in the truck, and also my viewers out there, how can AI help conservation?
I think AI, if you bring AI into the conversation, I think you can maybe create an app where it will explain the habitats, the zone, the environment, the type of plants, the type of trees, and then maybe like something specific about the lion. Or what kind of what it eats, how it functions. Maybe it sleeps during the day, it's at work at night, how heavy it is. explain something more about the lion itself. Maybe if they have the park, a system that includes the animals of the park. Maybe the name of of that lion and its specificity.
That's right.
That makes sense. An AI-powered app that enables you to take a photo of an animal and instantly would identify what animal it is and give fact and behavioral psychology. That would be something I would be very interested in.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
And you just did this.
Yo.
If you guys find yourself here in Kenya, you better come see some wildlife, yeah? And it's very close to the city. Unlike the other ones that I have been to, the Serengeti, the Kruger, you have to drive like several kilometers to get there. This one, you can even walk from your hotel room here to see it.
What's the one thing about riding you people to know about?
They're very aggressive animals.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
We spotted rhinos, lions, giraffes, buffaloes, zebras, and unique bird species. All thanks to Google for allowing me experience all of this firsthand. I would like to hear from you guys. Which of this technology highlighted in this video are you most excited about?
What I always like to do when I have guests like this, most times you realize over 50-60% of people watching our videos, they don't subscribe. So I always like to tell my guests to tell them
This guy. All right, yeah, guys, go subscribe to Stephen Ndukwu's YouTube channel. Holy, that was incredible. Let's see, we got outstanding stream. Thank you so much, Charles. Yeah, this is quite informational, man. If people, this is so slept on because it's not like the typical type of entertainment. Like it's very informational, right? People have such short attention spans and they don't stick around for the real meaning of a video like that. And looking at how Kenya is progressing when it comes to technology, when it comes to the video we just watched about Google investing into a lot of the projects that the people in Kenya are starting, and then the prior video with Wodamaya and the electric motorcycle company, it is incredible. And I cannot wait to step foot into Kenya, and Rwanda, Tanzania, and then Ghana.